Well, the country is always very exciting. There is a lot of dynamics currently happening. Obviously, I think what we have seen is that there is clearly a new administration in place, and the expectation is that a lot of the project infrastructure investment that were expected to happen will progressively take place. We have an expectation that also the regulatory framework could improve, given sort of the presidential stance to get things done, and hopefully encouraging all the stakeholders to deliver the project. As we know, there are complexities which stems from regulatory issues and obviously also energy, so the global energy context in which maybe some of the oil companies are scaling down on their investment, etc. So all these interplays need to be taken into account for this year, which means that some of the project maybe need to be reviewed or postponed or reassessed in terms of cost. But the long-term view is in support of the, clearly a lot of energy investment. The country need energy, need more also diversification of energy, and gas in the energy mix will become a more important source. So that means that the investment in the gas chain needs to take place, and from upstream to obviously downstream and distribution. So on that basis, we are positive that there will be a lot of work to be done, and we look forward to sort of play our role and our part on that. Well, I think we are starting to see, clearly it's very important that from the top there is a clear direction that things need to get done, as I was saying earlier. Clearly one person is not enough always, but that person is very important because he has a significant position in the country. So, but that culture of getting things done, we hope, will help also to percolate through the various regulators and ministers in order to ensure that the project happen, they are sanctioned, so that some of the approval processes are streamlined. It's very important that we create harmonization between the various ministries and the various regulators which are involved in order to ensure that the decision and the approval processes are coherent and they are clear. We often see and experience that the regulatory process are always one of the sort of obstacle, if I can use this word, or hurdle to overcome before any project could take place. So we hope that streamlining of the administration process will take place. Well, one interesting dynamic is even if the gas production in Indonesia has increased when Tangguh came on stream, obviously there hasn't been any major gas development in the recent years. So one important dynamic as the demand grows is that Indonesia may become also an importer, like many of the Southeast Asian nations are now moving from being a traditional exporter to also become an important country. And that, in the long run, so we may see some of the Indonesian state player in particular to be a buyer in the international market, as we've seen Pertamina with Corpus Christi, and hopefully more of that, and also potentially as an equity holder of gas or LNG projects overseas. So that's a trend that if we have to look at what other countries have done, countries like India or a country like Malaysia, which was a traditional exporter, then obviously this country are also becoming LNG participant in North American project or East African project. And we hope to see also that trend developing in Indonesia because it creates an integration of the chain and also ensure that there is availability of supply to the country. The other aspect that is important is also the infrastructure investment. It is essential in order to, as you know, to distribute gas and import LNG to have the terminals and the pipeline. So that part of the investment, which is currently being undertaken, needs to be expedited and needs to be supported by favorable also regulation and decision making. And also the pipeline infrastructure is key because the regas terminal alone are not sufficient if these cannot be connected to the, with the users.